There's
That's it.
always
And
something you have to learn.
well, that's it. And also, actually, there's a group of people I help who their problem is that they've given up their day job, right? And now all of a sudden they've got loads of time, and then they get stuck. So the problem is they have too much time because, as I said, when you've got too much time, then you're like, oh well, maybe I'll try this. I'll just go and check Facebook for a bit. It gives you too much kind of space. Sometimes having less of everything. I mean, a way of describing creativity is that it is the process that your brain has to use in order to overcome limitations. So if you remove those limitations, the creativity doesn't need to engage. So you don't make the music. So I think if people are feeling like, well, if only I had this, or if only I had that, or I'm waiting for this, or I'm waiting for that, those are not the most useful things to be waiting for. Simply work out what you can do now, and do that.
Yeah, thank you. Um, well, I came across the idea that I don't believe inspiration anymore. How do you describe inspiration when it comes to creating music? I mean,
Well,
what is inspiration? It's kind of pretty wide question, but what I'm trying to say is that when you sit down and produce music, you don't need inspiration. You just
no.
you just follow the
Yeah. I mean,
flow.
okay.
I mean, it's like inspiration is like one of those words like motivation. Okay, so a lot of people go, oh well, I can't do anything because I'm not motivated today, or I can't do anything because I'm not feeling inspired today. And yeah, okay, sometimes you're going to feel totally and utterly, there are times when you're too tired or whatever. But what happens is that if you do something every day, the way I kind of describe it, and a metaphor for describing it, is that if you show up, then inspiration and motivation know you're at home, so they start to show up. So if you're there every single day, doing what needs to be done, just simply taking the next step, don't worry about the whole thing. Just think about, well, what can I do? I'll press this and I'll record that, and then even if you hate it, just keep on taking the next step. Pretty soon, our friends, inspiration and motivation, will show up because they're like, oh, Mike's home. Okay, I'm going to go and visit. So, but it's what it is about is simply just taking those steps, even when you're not inspired and motivated. So.
Yeah. Um, Again, my students, they always they have some role models in their life. They want to be a Tiesto, Carl Cox, or anyway.
Of course.
Um, the younger ones try to become what was his name, Martin Garrix.
Yes.
So, but what I suggest them to make enough money with music, then you are successful. Not nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think about that? Everybody, we don't have to be everybody doesn't have to be a Tiesto, right? Making enough money, then it's okay. This is what I did, in my music career, and
Yeah.
I did enough money, and I find myself, my dreams came true. So
Well, I mean, there's a few different ways of looking at this, and I mean, all of us look up to people and model ourselves on people. I mean, it's how we learn, right? So I got three children, and I see them. They'll say something, and I can hear it's Mike speaking, and it's quite because it's a natural thing. It's how we learn. So that it's absolutely fine to have role models and aspire to be like other people. But in terms of success, Martin Garrix, Tiesto, whoever else, you're talking about like literally the very, very top in certain terms. So like in terms of money, but there are other ways of looking at success. For one thing, I never got to the point of being a Tiesto or Martin Garrix, but I made a very good living from music. So there's an enormous number of people who are beneath in terms of the amount of money that they earn. These people. So it's not a case of either you're there or you're nothing. You know, there's shades of success. And the other way of looking at it is, which I've already been kind of hinting at, is that is the amount of money that you earn or the amount of fame that you amass success? Is that what success means? I don't think so. I mean, maybe at some point in my life I had that idea, but I pretty soon learned that that kind of success also has another side to it, which can be very dangerous. You know, there are a lot of people who get big success and then they kind of, you know, have a real problem with it. I'm not naming any names, and I'm not talking about Tiesto. I'm not talking about Martin Garrix. I'm just saying in general. So my way of looking at these aspirations and these goals to be like other people is that they are a tool. That aspiration is a tool to do the work. So it's like, oh, I'd really like to play in front of thousands of people, say. So how am I going to do that? Okay, so I need to make lots of music. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the studio every day and you know, I'm going to listen to what Mike Monday said, and I'm going to get up and I'm going to, you know, I'm going to do this. Now, the process of doing that means that you grow and you learn and you realize how hard it is, which means that you become more humble, which means that you overcome problems that you have yourself in your life through the journey towards that aspiration. Now, if you look at it in that way, then the actual aspiration itself is less important than the journey, because that's where you learn to become essentially a better human being. I mean, you will find with a lot of people who gain success and maintain it is, and not all, but a lot of them, is that they are incredibly humble and they're really, really nice people as well. You know, so I mean, certainly ones I've met are anyway. So you know, and everyone has bad moments. So you know, not everyone is a complete saint all the time. But in general, because they've gone through the journey of becoming successful, which is a hard journey to take, and it's that difficulty that is what you're looking for. You're looking for doing something which is hard, because that's what helps you to grow.